All right, director's take. Mixing up the meta in mid-season. All right. Hello, wonderful people. And thank you again, Fitzy, for the raid. I appreciate it. Hello, wonderful people, and welcome to the mid-season 9 director's take. This season had the most significant changes to the game we've made in a long time, which I've actually enjoyed Season 9. When we launched Season 9 in February, we wanted to make sure to keep an eye on your feedback and react to what we saw. We've had 2 patches so far, and we have another one, which is quite the stunner, coming up next week. Is that to say that they're bringing back more CC? Because I know a lot of people are looking forward to that, if that's the case. Let's get into that. No, wait. Let's talk about where we're at, and then get into that. The changes made this season were designed to address multiple issues in the game, based largely in part on your feedback. As we've seen with the trend of these new posts, is saying that if you don't like the way the game is right now, it's your fault. I'm kidding, but I like how that's been more like, this is your feedback. So if you don't like it, we're happy with how these modifications have shifted the game, but there are 2 areas we want to improve a bit. The damage passive, and how some individual heroes have landed after the shakeup. Damage passive has been terrible to play against as a tank, but I also understand having it in the game. So I'm hoping they can find ways to make it a little bit easier for tanks, but also keep it valuable for DPS. We think the direction we're headed in is correct, but agree that some changes still need to be ironed out, which I think is agreeable. Just to kind of talk about this very quickly, when it comes to this change, the thing I've been saying is they have a great blueprint now. Now they have to build off of it. And then they're recognizing that by saying, yes, we like the direction. Now we need to fix some of these things to make it a lot better. Okay, let's start with the damage passive. It's had quite a big impact on the game. It was designed to push our damage heroes to be the forefront of a fight. In terms of securing kills, it's definitely doing this, which it will, especially against DPS versus DPS. Overwatch is about eliminating the opponents and sending them back to spawn. So we think it's healthy for damage heroes to have a large impact here, which I don't disagree. It's okay for DPS to have a big part of that role because you're doing the damage output, right? The problem is how does it feel for everybody else who's playing? But it may be pushed a bit too far. There can be moments where it feels a bit too dangerous, even as a tank, to expose yourself or where your health can burn down quicker than expected while being healed, which can happen as tank. One of the goals of the recent health increase was to soften some of the burst damage in the game. This is one of those effects that can be very difficult to tune just right, so we're going to take a small step back in the next patch and lessen the healing reduction from 20 to 15%. We'll keep an eye on it and go from there. My only take on this is I still think as a tank that might be frustrating, but I'm going to wait to see how that one goes. It's better than just not changing it at all. So we'll take that. We'll take that for sure. With balance, we're touching roughly half the heroes in the roster in this patch. I was reading something. The power of heroes moved around a lot this season, and while we think this type of change can be healthy for the game, we'd still like to make sure that all heroes feel viable. We'll release the full set of patch notes in a few days, but I'd like to get into a few of the more notable changes that we're making here. Obviously, one of the biggest issues we've ran into tanking is going against Doom. Doom has been really strong, has kind of become the S-tier tank. But I also think people struggle at Doom, so I'm curious to see where they go with that. Like I said, we memed about it the other day about how they might buff Doom, but you never know. On the support side, we're making a fairly significant buff to Ana's grenade. Its damage and healing will move from 60 to 90 health to give her more self-survivability, which, by the way, we talked about this a while ago where I thought that would be a good idea for Ana because Ana's been struggling in this patch. I said that they've moved the grenade to not do well, so a better grenade for healing herself and the damage will be better, and obviously that's a buff for Ana. Ana is an interesting hero and one of the most played in the entire game because she's a fun hero. So we're hoping that the adjustment brings her to a place where she feels viable but not dominant, which is definitely what they're aiming for. We're also making a few adjustments to Lifeweaver to help with his heal and burst potential. His maximum heal will increase from 70 to 80, with the maximum charge increasing from 1 to 1.15. It'll be interesting to see how that goes. I mean, a lot of the reason why Lifeweaver was in that spot was because of the passive, so if they're buffing the heals at the same time while also nerfing the passive, it's going to be interesting. This might actually make Lifeweaver a lot better overall in general. Along with the reduced damage roll passive, we think both he and Mercy will be more reliable moving forward, which we'll find out. I mean, definitely will be viable. Doomfist and Mauga are 2 of the tanks getting a tune-up. Meteor Strike's minimum damage will increase from 15 to 50. Okay, so Doomfist is getting buffed. I thought chat was... Okay, so Doomfist is getting buffed. Their ultimate's going to be a lot better. While this might not seem like a big change, the amount of damage his ultimate does scales from the edge of its effect to the center and should result in a lot more guaranteed damage. So basically, Doomfist now has a better ultimate. So Doomfist is buffed. Chat's reaction to that's interesting. That is a lot of damage, by the way. Keep in mind, Doomfist is essentially going to do a little bit over 3 times more damage on the outside of the ultimate. Not the inside of the ultimate, but like say you hit the edge of the ultimate, it's now going to do 50 damage from 15. Like at the very outside of that. So like the minimum damage is now 50. So Doomfist, even though one of the strongest tanks right now in top 500, granted. Keep in mind, each rank's going to play differently. Like, I've kind of talked about it where I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if they buff Doom because people are seeing that Doom are really good. And they're going to go try and play Doom in certain ranks. And then it's just going to be tough to... I mean, even me, I'm not that good at Doom. So then Doom's win rate's going to be low, and then they're going to buff Doom, and now Doom is getting buffed. So you know, I've talked about how I want to learn how to play Doom. This is a good timing. Because if they don't change much about anything else, then I can see Doom being meta still. From already being meta. I don't think it's going to be that bad, though. I think from like an overreaction point of view, I think it will be fine. I do think you'll see Doomfist still dominate a lot in top 500 and like matches and things like that, but I don't think you'll see a huge shift in Doom unless they make other major changes to Doom, because you still have to be... You ready for this, chat? The first step of Doomfist is being good at Doomfist, right? It's all fun and games when you play Doom, but if you aren't building your ultimate, you ain't going to feel this change to begin with. So as me, you know, obviously in top 500, it'll be frustrating to play against that, but overall, I think it's... You know, I imagine, like, you're not playing against dominant Doomfist all day long. So it's an interesting one. All right. Ultimately, we want Meteor Strike to give Doomfist or his team the ability to follow it up and secure eliminations more reliably. I mean, we can agree that Doom ult's kind of a meme with the damage. Although Doom ult's been getting buffed a lot. Mauga is getting changes to his Cardiac Overdrive ability. Its duration will decrease from 5 to 4 seconds, and its cooldown will decrease from 12 to 10 seconds. Okay, we'll see how that goes. Additionally, it will fill his passive over health by 100. We want the ability to be more reliable and more consistently give Mauga additional survivability. Mauga will also receive a buff to his overrun. The stomp damage will increase from 45 to 60. I think it'll be fine. I think this will be fine. I could be wrong.
I can't hang out
I do think Mauga's a little bit underrated this patch, but I do think also this could be good. Ryan, thanks for the rose. A tank we are not touching in this patch is Wrecking Ball. But we have a small rework coming to our lovable, yet deranged hamster in Season 10. So did you hear that, chat? There is a small rework coming to Wrecking Ball Season 10. Expect all of these changes and more to go live for our mid-season update next Tuesday, March 12th. I'd like to reiterate that we'll be watching the game and listening to your feedback when these changes go live and react accordingly. In fact, we're already talking about some of the modifications that we'll be making in Season 10. We're also going to be running our next Quickplay hacked later this season. This one is called Double Trouble, and it removes the 1 hero limitation in-game. Roll queue will still be active, but this means that players can choose 2 of the same hero for both damage and support roles. The hero limit was something that was implemented in Overwatch early into the original launch. At the time, we didn't have roll queue in the game, and players could create a team of 5 Winstons and a support. We called this strategy the Quinston, and it won our first internal tournament. That'll be it. That's going to be... Huh. This must be more of a for fun thing, right? Because I can tell you right now, when it used to be that way, it was something. Like, you think the hero stacking's tough now? Wait, if they made that a thing, it'd be tough. I will say, Quickplay Hacked is designed to test random stuff that probably won't make it live, but it gives them valuable data and feedback, so I don't expect something like that to become, like, an actual an actual live thing. But I can tell you what, hero stacking, when they had this in Overwatch at the beginning, it was tough to play against. Yeah, y'all are saying like 2 tracers and all that. It could be something. However, now that we do have roll queue in the game, the possibility of creating comps like this is gone. Giving players more freedom in which hero they choose and more creativity in putting comps together could be great. We can't wait to see what you come up with. It sounds like what they want to do is they want to see, is it viable to do a roll queue, but also allow players to play the same hero? By the way, I want to point something out. This is all a test. If people end up playing this and don't like it, it's not going to be something they implement. They're just trying something. And truthfully, I'm okay with them trying random stuff like this. If you're not a fan of it, like, the worst thing that happens is they go, hey, we don't like it, and then that's it, right? They're just trying something out to see. Maybe it makes the gameplay better. I don't think it will, because hero stacking was always a difficult thing at the beginning of Overwatch. But at the same time, we'll see. You never know. Maybe the game has changed so much since then that it could be fun. I don't know. I'll try it out for a little bit, see what happens. That's it for this update. We're looking forward to next week's patch, and let's make a great game. So we got, a lot of interesting changes. A very surprising Doomfist buff, Ana buff, Wrecking Ball rework announced for next season. A lot of changes still coming at the patch, DPS passive nerf. So overall, it sounds like it's going to be a good mid-season patch. I think there's probably a lot more details within that patch that we just don't know yet, because they did say a lot of heroes are getting changes still. So really curious to see where they go with that. And yeah, I'm excited. Mid-season patches in a few days, and we got the Cowboy Bebop thing to go with that too.